In the modern world, it's hard to go anywhere without seeing or hearing the term 5G being thrown around. It feels like you can't watch TV for 5 minutes without hearing about 5G from one of the big telecom carriers or one of the big phone makers. Many people just assume that 5G means faster internet speeds, and while that is true, 5G has the capability to do a lot more than just that. It has the potential to dramatically change the world we live in forever. Without getting too much into detail, 5G is going to transform farming, manufacturing, gaming, transportation, cities, and healthcare. Long story short, it's going to transform everything. Now, some industries in a small way, and some industries in a big way. The purpose of this video is to show you, the viewer, 5 stocks that you can buy today to get exposure to the 5G revolution. If you haven't already, please remember to like this video and to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really helps with YouTube recommending my content to other viewers like you. Over the course of our history as human beings, there have been technologies and companies that have transformed the world we live in. As I'm making this video, I can't help not to think about Amazon because their global headquarters are across the street. And just look at their impact. I mean, they've literally changed the world we live in, and they've made a lot of people wealthy doing it. And that's just one example. Our history is littered with companies and technologies that have altered our lives forever. The internal combustion engine, the telephone, electricity, the airplane, the mobile phone, and the internet all revolutionized the world. And all of these technologies not only revolutionized the world, they also created massive industries that created lots of wealth for a lot of people. Really quick, I want to ask all of you a question. How many times have you thought to yourself, man, I wish I would have bought Amazon stock 10 years ago? Or how many times have we heard someone say, you know what the funny thing is, Ravi? I actually owned Apple in 2010, and then I sold it in 2011. Man, I wish I still owned it today. I'd probably be a millionaire. My point is that the 5G revolution is still in its infancy, and investing in 5G companies could potentially pay off in a big way. More importantly, investing in 5G is a great way to invest your money over the long term because the potential is massive. I'm looking to hold the 5 companies that I'm going to talk about in this video for the next 5 to 10 years. Not the next 5 to 10 days, and not the next 5 to 10 months. The 5G revolution is in the first minute of the first quarter of an NBA basketball game. That means we have a lot of game left to play. The 5G stock trade isn't breaking news because 5G stocks have been on investors' radar for quite some time. My stock picks are not pure play 5G stocks, and by pure play, I mean these companies don't focus their efforts and resources on 5G entirely. My stock picks have a diversified business model that doesn't solely rely on 5G, but they will greatly benefit from 5G's mass adoption. My first pick is Nvidia, ticker symbol NVDA. Nvidia is a major player in a lot of areas, and 5G is just a slice of their fast-growing pie. The graphics processors that Nvidia produces are a key ingredient for many processes that will run on 5G networks. Among the emerging technologies that Nvidia is uniquely positioned to benefit from are gaming, augmented reality and virtual reality, smart cities, and smart manufacturing. While Nvidia is not a pure play 5G stock, it will be essential to develop the technologies that run on 5G. And the great thing about Nvidia stock is that it's not solely reliant on the success of 5G. Its products are already in major demand and will continue to be in demand going into the future. In my opinion, Nvidia has a guaranteed role in the future of tech, and that's the type of companies that I like to invest in. And if we take a quick look at its stock price, it is down from its mid-February highs, and this might be an attractive price point to buy some shares. My second pick is T-Mobile, ticker TMUS. You can't have a list of 5G stocks and not include one of the major carriers, and that's why I'm going with T-Mobile. While they don't have the fastest speeds, T-Mobile does have the best 5G coverage across the United States, and that's something that Verizon and AT&T just can't match. On T-Mobile's website, you can compare their 5G coverage to that of Verizon and AT&T, and as you can tell, they just have a lot more Americans covered. While Verizon's 5G is super fast, good luck finding coverage if you aren't in close range to a 5G antenna. T-Mobile stock is trading around $130 today, and while there may be a better entry point in the near term, I think T-Mobile is a great long-term hold. T-Mobile occupies the mid-band 5G spectrum, which is sort of the sweet spot, and when you combine that with the acquisition of Sprint, to me, T-Mobile becomes the most attractive 5G carrier to own. While the mid-band 5G spectrum may not be the fastest, it does allow T-Mobile to provide 5G coverage to millions of people. In fact, by the end of 2021, T-Mobile expects that more than 200 million people in the United States will have access to their 5G network. My third pick is the German-based industrial conglomerate Siemens, ticker SIEGY. If you're thinking of 5G as a purely consumer-based technology, then Siemens might be a little bit of a head-scratcher. But when you think of 5G in terms of optimizing automation in a giant factory, then Siemens might be your play. Automation isn't the most popular word right now because of the potential threat it poses to traditional jobs. But the truth is that automation drives costs down and directly improves a company's bottom line. And when you think of 5G in terms of manufacturing, there is a real use case that is starting to develop with each passing day. With 5G, machines will be able to speak to each other like they have never been able to do before. Siemens shares trade over the counter under ticker symbol SIEGY, and if you want a long-term 5G manufacturing play, I'd strongly consider Siemens. My fourth pick is Qualcomm, ticker QCOM. Qualcomm has a very unique and awesome business model. It derives most of its revenue from chip making, but the bulk of its profit comes from its patent licensing business. Qualcomm's patent licensing business is massive, and if you have a smartphone in your pocket right now, chances are that it runs on Qualcomm's intellectual property. Pretty much any time a mobile phone is sold on this planet, a small percentage or royalty check is paid to Qualcomm. And with the current 5G supercycle well underway, it is only a matter of time until almost everyone on this planet has a 5G mobile phone in their pocket. And if there's one company that benefits a whole lot from this supercycle, it's Qualcomm. But Qualcomm is also expanding into the automotive semiconductor business, which has enormous potential with the electrification of vehicles and the push towards autonomous driving. And Qualcomm is also rapidly expanding into the cloud computing arena, which will put the company in direct competition with Nvidia and Intel. In terms of its stock price, Qualcomm is down from its early February highs, and I think right now is a great time to start your position if you don't already have one established. My fifth and most surprising pick is Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN. When most people think of Amazon, we think of them as an online retailer. While there is no question that retail is a massive business, the profit driver that Amazon has and will be relying on is AWS, or Amazon Web Services. All you have to do is take a quick trip to the AWS website, and right there you can see that Amazon is preparing for the future. Among other things, they are focusing on gaming, the Internet of Things, machine learning, quantum technologies, robotics, virtual reality, and augmented reality. And that's not even mentioning the industrial applications of 5G that Amazon will be unleashing in the coming years. We're talking autonomous fleets and autonomous warehouses that have the ability to scale and deliver dynamic load flows in real time. And with sophisticated artificial intelligence and machine learning tools, AWS can and will be able to carry the heavy lift of complex decision making. Amazon is already the leader in two large and rapidly growing sectors with its e-commerce and cloud computing business. So 5G or not, Amazon will continue to be a two-headed monster that is well positioned for the future. So if you haven't thought of Amazon as a 5G play, you really should. For me, investing in 5G is a no-brainer because of how many emerging technologies depend on faster and more reliable internet speeds. There is a reason why nations around the world are in a technological arms race to get 5G to as many people and companies as possible. It's a massive competitive advantage and could truly determine which countries lead the next generation of industry. And if it wasn't such a big deal, trust me, I wouldn't do a video on it. As I stated earlier, the 5 companies that I recommended in this video aren't pure play 5G stocks. They have a lot more going for them. But this isn't the only way to invest in the sector. Obviously, there are a lot of companies you can invest in. And there are also some great ETFs that provide some great diversified exposure. As you can probably tell, I'm extremely intrigued by 5G's capabilities, and I'm very excited to see its progression over the coming years. With that, I'm going to call it a video. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you all next time. The skies have been gray, I'm trying to get out of town. I'd love to have company, so baby, are you down? We could party all night